Hi, I'm Jenny Spinner. I'm chief editor of Snack Food and Wholesale Bakery, and I am here today with Sarah Beddoe, founder of Love Liv. And it's got a really cool story to tell. I mean, every snack and bakery company does, but I'm going to be talking to her and let her tell her story of the company that she founded with the help of a little girl named Olivia. Who has type 1 diabetes. And Sarah, thank you for being here, first of all. Love your earrings. If you don't mind, let's start off about some of the, setting the scene, some of the struggles of being a T1D mom. And you can talk about anything from the challenges of feeding adorable Olivia tasty, nutritious food she could eat, to the health scares you've had that you've talked about in the past. Just anything about your experience before founding the company.
Yeah, I think, gosh, if you talk to anyone who has a child with this, they would all of our stories are very, very similar in that what led up to the diagnosis was a cocktail of symptoms that you see on a daily basis with kids, especially young kids that are in growth spurts. So they drink a lot of water, they're very irritable, they're hungry. Nothing seemed outlandish or scary. So, it took a lot to get to the moment where we knew there was something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Post-diagnosis, it completely changes how all of us think about how you feed and how you calculate the needs and then the insulin requirements. And so it's very much mathematical and it's very scary and serious, especially in the beginning, because you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. But I think as I got more into this, I was always worried. I was always personally scared that I was going to do something wrong, or I wasn't going to give her enough, or I was going to give her too much. And so I think the fear of the consequence always haunted me. It still does to this day. But the fear of the consequence always was much worse than the food choices, because really and truly, they can eat technically whatever they want as long as you have insulin to cover it properly. So I think the fear just always sat with me that I am in control of her destiny. And that was always a lot for me to wear. And then, I think the biggest, so that's kind of the early stages. I think that still haunts me today. But if you asked me point blank, one thing that is the biggest struggle is just the day to day. I can't necessarily have her go home with, a friend after school so I can run a couple of errands, because that's a lot to put on a mom who's never ever dealt with diabetes. And that's a lot for me to deal with being afar running errands. So it's not a lifestyle that is, yes, it's a manageable disease. And yes, there is a lot of science and technology, but it's not something that ever is easy or that you get used to.
Mm-hmm. So you created Love Liv in response to some of those struggles that you had in feeding her and getting her, treats that are, good and safe. You're the creator of Love Liv, but it's really Olivia, adorable Olivia, who was on screen before I hit record on this video. She's the spark that ignited its launch. Could you talk a little bit about the story behind the first batch of cookies and how you went from there?
Yeah, no, it's the best part of this mission, because like I tell my kids with sports, like, if you want something, you have to drive it. But I spent my entire career in essentially fast food marketing and product innovation. And so, I've been part of some of the most amazing, delicious, all-American, food releases that have happened in the last 15 years. And I'm very proud of it. And my kids know that. And so my kids associate me and treats. And when I had to tell Olivia, nope, we can't have that donut after the soccer game. Nope, we cannot stay for so-and-so's birthday cake singing, because I knew that it wasn't fair for her to have to sit there alone. She turned to me after a soccer game one day and said, "Mommy, you need to fix this. This is not fair." and I should be able to have something like my friends. And at that moment, I knew she knew I had the wherewithal and I had the resources to do something about it. And I just felt like responsible in that moment. I am not a chef. I am not a cook. I know nothing about food. And in fact, I burn everything that I make. But I got into the kitchen too. I'm horrible, like horrible. But I got into the kitchen one night and we just started playing with ingredients, and it wasn't great, but like you learn about the things you can assemble to keep the glycemic levels low, all that. And she came up with this idea. And she was like, everybody can have treats like me, love, live. And I was kind of like, that's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
So long story short, like I said, I have a lot of friends in the industry, and I made some phone calls to some food scientists, and it was a resounding yes. If this is how we can help, yes. And it didn't take long for me to rally a group of passionate warriors behind the idea, and here we are.
So you're oh, I'm not going to say the word posse on a professional video, am I? But I think I am. Tell me about the number of talents that were the people that you turned to, food scientists, and were there diabetic moms or medical people that helped you take these cookies from the kitchen to the rest of the world? Oh, feel free to give shout outs to anybody if you want.
Yeah. Oh my God. There's, I mean, honestly, all I have done is connect. I think one of my superpowers is I connect people. But I don't have subject matter expertise in any of this. And so I humbly give all credit. Let me start by saying the community of parents with children with diabetes is like, I could cry. It's the most amazing community of people because everyone is like the most caring person, because at the core of their passion lives their child. And so you meet these parents, and when you meet these parents, I have like 15 people on speed dial in my favorites that I call, and I'll say, oh my God, I got this. What do I do? So you take this group of moms and dads, and you take some of the connections I had, and I immediately was able to get some of these kids, these parents, children who have diabetes together in a room and have them try different samples of products with Olivia. Watch their glucometer, watch their sugar levels, get their reaction to the taste, which to me is most important first. And that was very cool. That was super cool because I was actually getting the people that I want to solve the problem for to be the biggest defenders and the biggest critics up first. And then I felt like if they were cool with it and they loved it, then maybe we can get the rest of the world to believe that it's good too. So my tribe, which is what I've been calling this group, my cookie monster, cookie tribe, names for these lovely humans. There's a lady named Allison Rittman who is out of Austin, who developed the science behind the product. There's a man named Raymond Gallegos who is here in Dallas who commercialized the product. Alexis Gillette has been my right hand. She's the one that's probably helped me operationalize the entire product from start to finish. A million people who have helped make all of the other stuff come to life. But I could not have done it without the little cookie critics, the moms of the cookie critics, and then the team of people that have made this possible here. And like I said, I just connected everyone together. And the truth is, Jenny, everyone wants children's lives to be impacted because this is not just about health. Sure, it is, but it's more about like the emotional side and the well-being of children to feel like they're not different and that this does not define them. And but it does. Exclusions define people's feelings of involvement and I'm good enough or I'm not good enough. And I think the inclusivity side of breaking bread is like something we have got to solve. And that's part of this mission.
Yeah, food is a really social thing. And if, a child of the 70s and 80s, because I'm super old, special occasions at school or at parties where everybody's sharing food, sharing cake, sharing cookies, candy at Halloween, and for a diabetic kid not being able to be a part of that, just the act of giving them something that they can eat and they can share with other kids is really powerful.
Yeah.
I was wondering if, now that we've talked about your story, if you could tell us a little bit about the products and the recipe.
Yep.
If you wanted to like describe the line so far.
Yeah.
I might ask you about plans for the future and new products later, but yeah, if you can tell me about the recipe, the line, and what about them makes these, appropriate for kids with diabetes or, people looking to watch, but able to share with anybody.
Yeah. So we currently have 4 different flavors of cookies. And all of these cookies are sugar free, which means there is no sugar in the base formula and there's no added sugar from a flavor perspective. So every one of these products is sugar free. Every single one of our products is gluten free. And all of our products have a nut free flour base, which means, anyone with a peanut or a nut allergy is safe to eat. We do have a peanut butter flavored product that does include peanut butter, which I know is kind of ironic because you just spend all this time talking about. We are discontinuing that. But for those that wanted a peanut butter flavored product, we had it available in the beginning. But we have 4 different flavors, very mainstream by design. We have a sugar, we call it the not so sugar. We have a snickerdoodle, which is unbelievable, and I drink it with coffee in the morning. We have a chocolate chip, which is wonderful, and then we have our peanut butter magic, which is probably our most popular flavor with adults, especially our type 2 diabetes fans. That's a good one because it's got a lot of protein and it's got that sweet and savory combo that everyone loves. So the products themselves are amazing. What makes the product rhyme and what gives it its like X factor is our flour base is a mixture of 3 different flours. All have the lowest glycemic impact on blood sugar. And that excludes almond flour. A lot of products today, a lot of keto products and a lot of low carb products include almond flour. But kind of going back to the essence of this exclusivity and bringing everyone together, this was something that you really automatically take a good group of kids and folks out of the mix because you do have a nut-based flour. So we use oat flour, we use brown rice flour, and we use tapioca flour. And those 3 together work really well from a flavor standpoint. It's chewy. It tastes like a cookie that comes out of very traditional baked cookies. So they're not crispy. And they don't last forever. So they arrive to your door fresh. And we just, we bake them that same day and then we ship them out to you, and they're good for a few weeks. By design, and we don't have preservatives, our labels are clean. And we do that because cookies are meant to be enjoyed immediately. So you can't put them on the shelf and they don't last like some of the, your favorite ones do, and that's okay.
Yeah.
So that's what makes our products unique. And then obviously you get it in this like really awesome package.
That's great. So yeah, a lot of the people I talk to, great product, like yours, really good story, like yours. Even the products with those pieces of the puzzle still, have challenges commercializing, getting it into people's hands. I was wondering if you could tell us a little bit about your journey to commercialize and get this product out there. What you've learned along the way, advice that you might have for other people who are creators like you, any aspects that you'd want to talk about, getting that product launched.
I will start by saying anyone that does this I think naturally has an anxiety to them. I have anxiety. Nothing ever moves fast enough. And so, it's easy for me to look back and say, what could I have done differently? I think in a lot of ways, I rushed the commercialization well, I don't know. I probably won't say that because I can't look back. What we did is we got the direct to consumer business up and running as quick as we could.
Mhm.
Did commercial space, bought machinery, and we started operating. I think now where we are, I would have recommended that I take where we are now and all of that work and made sure that work was happening in parallel with getting the direct ship business up off the ground. That way, kind of our business was operating on all fronts from the very beginning. But again, I'd never done this before, and I was just anxious to get the product to life. I have a really weird feeling of if you're not first, you're last, and I get very blindsided by other people and what. So I have to remain like this, otherwise I'll go crazy. But my advice would be to move as quick as you can. And one of the pieces of advice someone gave me who's done this and been very like successful doing it said, move as fast as you can, you'll learn as you go. And they're right. Like I've already learned so much. Where are we now in our journey? So we operate a kitchen here in Dallas. We ship out of our kitchen here in Dallas. We have a team of people that do all of that. We are now moving to a co-packer, so that we can produce on a much broader scale, which allows us to do other things, allows us to get into the food service space and deliver to restaurants and universities and hospitals and places where our product will show up as a private label product.
Nice.
And that's probably going to be a huge push for us over the next 6 months. The third part that we are very excited about is getting into retail, which would be the refrigerated section of the grocery store. So now you can go pick up our product, like you could go pick up the beloved Toll House, take it home, break them into pieces and stick them on a sheet pan and bake them. So you can have. So, our business is evolving as we're learning.
Yeah, that's great. I definitely will have to keep my eyes on you. And yeah, as somebody with diabetes, this is, as a consumer, I'm very interested, just for selfish reasons. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what comes next. Is there any final words before I let you go on to your busy entrepreneur slash mother life, both of which are really hard jobs, and you're doing 2 of them?
Well, my day includes a bounce house and a soccer team. So I just leave you with those 2 words. No, the thing is I don't have any like final words. I could talk about this forever. The world is changing so fast. And the thing that is encouraging is that everyone's attention is on this new way of processing food and making food. I do pray and hope for a world where the cost of these type of ingredients comes down enough to make our products accessible and affordable to everyone, because I think that is really when we will as a society benefit from this, not just those that can afford these kind of products. So I think we have a long way to go, but this is our beginning, and we're proud to be here. And like I said, Jenny, I'm super thankful that you are wanting to hear our story, and so that's it. It's Friday and I'm thankful.
Well, thank you. I will, if it weren't such a long commute between Chicago and Dallas, I would be right over, because I'm a big fan of bouncy houses. I'm a very large child. But
God.
thanks a lot. I'm going to let you go. Thank you for your time, and everybody else, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Have a good one.